Okay, so this video is what I think about the good aliens. Requested yesterday, and it was a ASAP request, which means I have to do it that day. But that's a good request to do ASAP because I wasn't gonna do any, watch any videos on it anyways, because I'm not doing the aliens right now. So the good aliens, well, I think all aliens are good. I think that's the most accurate way to look at it. If you're gonna start getting into bad aliens, I think you should just categorize those people as just like lost ghosts, like poltergeist types. Because ghosts can be categorized as aliens as well. Now I know there's such thing as reptoid aliens, but I don't think those are bad aliens. I think they're good aliens. As far as the bad stuff that reptoid aliens supposedly do, I bet you those are just like a rogue group of reptoid aliens that have been causing problems and maybe interacting with, who knows, the government, helping them. There's this guy called Alex Collier that talks about that. But I don't think it's really that dangerous, even if there is any thing like that. Now, there are some other aliens that are a little bit have some problems, and those are going to be the Greys, the ones who did the genetic manipulation, or did the abductions with humans to try to get their DNA, sperm and stuff, to create more their hybrids. But I wouldn't call them bad. I'd call them good, actually. I think if you go into spirit world and the alien world, and you kind of have one of these oh no, bad aliens idea, you're going to be so surprised. I think a lot of the aliens out there, the universe is a really benign place. You're only going to find drama if you go looking for it, It's like if you're going to go into the jail, then obviously you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of criminals. And so there are hell realms and stuff like that. But as far as aliens, the kind of aliens with the technology that can fly around, that is not any kind of a hell realm. That would be what you would call a heaven realm. So anyways, I read a book by Wendy Monroe a few years back about the Arcturians, and I think the Arcturians, those are the best aliens. Those are the oldest, most wise of aliens from the Arcturus star, and it makes sense because the Arcturus star is a red giant star, which makes it a very, very old star, just about to die. So the people who grew up on that star, back when Arcturus was like our sun, they were like us. But now that Arcturus is many millions of 4 billions of years in the future, they're 4 billion years more advanced than we are, so they're quite advanced. And so if their planet is burning up because the red giant is gobbling it up, it doesn't really matter to them because they have become off planet, and that's what they say. They are off planet. They basically live on big spaceships, and when their babies are born, they actually fly their spaceship out to the farthest outreach of the cosmos because there's the least amount of cosmic interference with them, and I guess they get the purest kind of energy, so they have the most control over the outcome of how they are. It's kind of like astrology. When you're born, when you take breath and become into the world, the cosmic configuration of the world at that time is going to have an influence on how you are. So that's what they do. But they've got some really cool technology. They have these machines that can materialize stuff, kind of like from Star Trek. Give me a burrito and ding, and they have those. So when they die, they just plug that into their dead body friend. So if they ever want to see him again, they would just reconstitute their dead friend. But they live like, I think they live like 8,000 years or something. They're really little. They're like 4 feet tall, and they're humans, but they're like so far in the spirit world that they wouldn't really appear human to us. It'd be like transparent-ish. And I think it's the last stop on humanoid before they become kind of so spiritual that they don't even need spaceships. But I'm just plugging that in myself. So those are the Arcturians. But then the ones who are more similar to us, though, those are going to be the Pleiadians from Pleiades. And they are humans, like us. Like, they look like us. They've got the facial hair and all that good stuff. But they live a long time. Live 1,000 years. 800 to 1,000 years. And I think they're the gods from the, Bible. And from the Greek mythology and the mythology of all the people of the world, and I think they're related to the Anunnaki. But I think they're good. If you study history, the beginning part of history is mythology. And mythology is history. It's just history that existed before they invented their language. So it's the part of the history that was verbal. But it's still history. I think it's different from that, you know, that game Telephone, where if you say the word and then you go around the circle, and then by the time the last person gets it, it's the wrong word, and it's like, well, history doesn't work like that. History is a lot more, I think, more exact. It's almost like writing a book. You can trust it just the same way. I mean, if somebody writes a book and they want to embellish and exaggerate, nothing's stopping them. They can do it all they want. And it's the same thing with the spoken word. People, when they have their history, they do it over. They hear the story over and over again. They get it perfectly right. So I don't think just because it's legend doesn't mean that it shouldn't be history. But anyways, as far as legends go, they talk about the aliens. I mean, you couldn't interpret it any other way. You know, like I was listening to the beginning of Rome the other day in a book, and Romulus, the guy who found Rome, they went out on. He was an old guy, and they went out on like it was a big rainy day, and they went out on a hike or something. And then when they all went back, he like was gone, and they went out and looked for him, and he was gone. And then the next day, somebody said they saw him again, and then they saw him like get in a silvery craft and fly up into space. And but those stories are all over the place in the Bible, written in tapestries and all that kind of stuff. So as far as the ancients' belief in gods, appease the gods, and have all the names for the gods, I think those are the aliens, you know. And that's why they believed it so much, you know. If we're not going to see gods all over the place, we're not going to believe in them. We don't see the gods. We do see the gods all over the place now, and we still don't believe them because it's not part of our tradition. But human beings aren't the kind of it's not in our nature to just believe something without any reason. So there's no way that the ancients would have believed in the gods and had names for them and had all the stories about when they saw them fly up. I mean, everybody's heard about the Ezekiel. He just disappeared, but he said that he saw like this rings with the rings flying, and then the God coming down and telling, you know, Abraham not to kill Isaac or whatever. God appearing to all these people, you know, and then God gets in his craft and his shiny disc and flies away. There's a story in Alexander the Great was besieging one of those. I don't remember what town it was. It was one of those ones in Iran, and this like spaceship, this flying silvery disc showed up out of nowhere and like laser beamed to the wall and busted it open so Alexander could like, you know, get in and besiege the city. And like everybody's like, and then Alexander's like, I'm the son of the gods, and everybody believes in the gods. And well, it's because they saw them. That's what I think. So, but I think into a large part, now the gods could be time travelers too. They could be just humans from the earth, from the future. Who knows? But or they could just be aliens from another part that came here. But but I think stuff like our society was engineered. What we were helped along, you know. They had a plan, and they, for example, like the Roman Empire, all the little things they could see and they wanted to create the Roman Empire. That was part of the steps of creating like a world society. So they nudged them along, they gave them ideas about laws, you know. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. And so all those aliens, I think, yeah, they're good. And I think they would keep going back to the same earth and making it a little bit better, you know. Like in the year 375, we made a mistake when we allowed them to include this in the Bible. So let's go back and have a guy show up and tutor Constantine all night long and not to put this in the Bible, you know. And then they're like, okay, cool, let's see what happened to Earth now. Yeah. There's even a story, well, this is Alex Collier, crazy alien contactee, but he says there's a legend, I've never heard of it, but there's a legend of some mysterious guy was lecturing the founding fathers for like 20 minutes on the importance of the Declaration of Independence and like certain, the Constitution and certain things they should have put in there, and then he like walked away and everybody's like, where is he? But he'd like disappeared. He walked around the bend and he was gone. Who knows? But a lot of times when I look at Rome, I see one of those buildings. I remember I was in Rome back in '97 and I looked at a building. And I don't know what building it was, but it was like one of their big administrative foreign buildings. And I looked at the date and it said it was built in like, you know, 100 BC or 2,000 years ago, a long time ago. But it was a huge building, and it looked just like my high school. It looked just like it was a giant building, and it looked like a normal like Capitol building in like DC. Like it has the stairs and that go up like this, and it's like 3 stories high or something, 4 stories high. And I was like, oh my God, it's that old? Back in the times of the barbarians. And I think back in those days, like 2,000 years ago, and you go to Rome, Rome was like, it was like the modern world is today, as far as laws, all their laws, I mean, not organized as well, but just the buildings, the infrastructure and everything. And then you go outside and it's just barbarians, and it was kind of like, the future was created there. And then it spread out from there. I don't know, it's just this really interesting feeling I get when I look at those buildings. But I think that's what the aliens do. They bring little units of future to here, but they only, but like, what are they doing to us now? How are they influencing on us now? Well, I think there's a new word in politics that's popular now. It's the most popular word I saw in the Young Turks. They did a little thing on it. Poll on the popularity of words, and progressive is the most popular word, and which means somebody who has political ideas most in line, this is my interpretation of it, most in line with what the political ideas will be in the future. And so but if you're going to do that, then it should be pretty obvious that a progressive is somebody who, isn't against war, is against war, and is for freedom. In a utopian society, people have freedoms. They have personal freedoms to do with their bodies what they want. There aren't external laws being imposed on them. And we're not invading other countries. So that's what progressive is. But I think like Jesus was a good alien, come to Earth with another. I mean, he was human, born on Earth, but his soul was alien. But I think if Jesus was to come here now, like one thing that made him popular were his miracles. But if he came here now and he did miracles, people would probably just think that he's like some kind of magician. Unless Jesus came down in a spaceship and stuff. But aliens can't land here. I mean, if they fly around, people don't believe them anyway. There's tons of evidence. And if they straight up landed, people would think that they're gonna like attack us. Because that's how we think. That's what we do when we go to other countries. We just attack them. So what would an alien do if they came here? I think they would just plant ideas in normal human beings. Like Bashar. I think Bashar is an alien. He just talks through Daryl Anka and gives us ideas, answers questions about stuff. I heard there's lots of really old people. Actually, that's Bashar who said that. There's lots of people in the world who live a long time. So I think they would just be people who sit around and try and give people ideas of what the future will be like. But I think, yeah, so aliens, I think you could call like an alien like somebody who's lived other lives in the future or on another utopian planet and then come live here. And I think some of them should be like, or are going to be and have been political leaders. Really progressive political leaders of the past. You could name a few of those, like Marcus Aurelius. Who else? Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, I think Ron Paul is very in line with progressive because he's for personal freedom, even though he's against abortion. But yeah, the aliens, their big job here is just to make sure we don't kill ourselves, like by disarming nuclear bombs and well, I guess that influences them too. If nuclear war happens, it screws up other worlds and the other dimensions. So it's kind of they're helping themselves too. But that's their main objective, and then to fly around and do the crop circles and give us what we asked for. SETI sent out a signal saying, "Oh, you give us a signal back," and the next day they put a big crop circle with Morse code saying, "Oh, here we are. Beware of lies," or whatever. And then the SETI people, a lot of them didn't even pay attention to that because they were looking for the signal in the space, but it was right there in the crop circle. It's kind of funny. So, what you ask for, you shall receive. Yeah, but that's what I think about aliens. I haven't been thinking about aliens a lot, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it, even though I took 18 minutes just babbling. I want to start listening to Bashar. I love hearing Bashar say stuff, because then he says something, and then you can like think about it. Like, he said something really weird the other day that I want to like try and find that video again. What the fuck you saying? Because he said something like, it's really important what we do now, because that could affect how it would be in the future. You know? Like we're sowing the seeds for multiple parallel universes, and if we do something slightly different now, it could totally change the way the future's going to be. So that's kind of a freaky idea. But anyways, that's basically what I think about that.